In other developments, the Black Entrepreneurs Alliance is of the view that a new deal is required to address South Africa's historical injustices, which remain a barrier in the empowerment of black businesses. In marking World Entrepreneurship Day, the BEA says collaboration with the new government of national unity is vital to tackle the ongoing levels of business failure. Some of the issues raised by the organization as a priority include funding, access to market, and mentorship. BEA CEO Refilwe Monageng speaks to us now. Thank you so much for your time and joining us in studio. Of course, access to funding as well as the market remains one of the biggest issues that drive business failures in this country. Are you of the view that South Africa has really not moved fundamentally in this regard?
Thank you, Tumisang. South Africa has not moved. And this statistics shows that 36.9% of companies as of January 2024 have been under liquidation. And this is a very big number as compared to January same time last year. So we believe that in empowering black entrepreneurs, firstly, there needs to be a new deal, and that new deal entails access to finance, like you rightfully said, but also amnesty to credit. I mean, a lot of our black entrepreneurs are blacklisted. And so as much as there's been amnesty with the whole a lot of things politically, we believe that economically and socially we need credit amnesty. So through the Treasury, we believe that the National Credit Regulator can bring about credit amnesty, because a lot of black businesses or other entrepreneurs are blacklisted, and without you being having a credit amnesty, you can't get credit from the banks. The banks can advertise all they like to say that we'd like to give you access to finance, but you can't because you are blacklisted.
That's an interesting element of amnesty. Would that be a call that's made to government to create policy of that nature, or the banking industry? That's where maybe that would be directed, or maybe a collaboration of the two?
Before we speak about the collaboration, with the government of national unity, and that's emphatic about pressing the reset button on the economy, it's important that we start speaking about credit amnesty so that we get cleaned up. Most people do not qualify. They're losing houses, cars, and even their children through school fees. People are blacklisted. So we need to press reset on credit amnesty, tax amnesty, and also be empowered in terms of being able to manage businesses sustainably and successfully, because there's a narrative and a notion that black people can't manage businesses sustainably, and it's not true. We know that there are instances, for example, even the parastatal ESCOM, it has been turned around and it's black people at the helm of it. And so we are saying, as black entrepreneurs, through the Gauteng Township Development Act, you can restart the economy and ensure, like you are speaking about corporates, this is when we are saying corporates should come to the party and the government, ensure that we need a courageous government of national unity, even of provincial unity, to implement the Gauteng Township Development Act in order to ensure that entrepreneurs can thrive.
You mentioned the Township Economic Development Plan. Is it even in action at this particular point? Yes, it's an act. However, has there been any tangibility to what has been done for black businesses?
You see, that's our challenge to Premier Panyaza, to say there was a time in the 6th administration he spoke about TISH in terms of township, informal settlements, hostels, and so on. And after that, it has been quiet. So we holding the bull by its horn, and we'll even take it up to the Gauteng legislature to hold them accountable, to say, if you look at Section 3 of the Gauteng Township Economic Development, it's very clear in terms of how township entrepreneurs can benefit. I mean, you speak about bread that's manufactured in the townships. Your ShopRite, your Pick n Pay, they have a duty of procuring 40% of those products from township entrepreneurs. And we're very bold about it. We're not moving. We're going to hold this government accountable, including municipalities. So all the 5 regions, I'll speak about Gauteng, all the 5 regions within Gauteng, it's important, if you read that act, especially Section 3, it speaks about the objects of the act. So we are saying our entrepreneurs are tired of toy-toying. Even if you've seen last week during the weekend in Soweto regarding the foreigners, and we are saying as black entrepreneurs, if we are saying foreigners must leave, the plug-in or response in that respect, it's that let's implement the Gauteng Township Economic Development Act and ensure that businesses that have closed down can recuperate. And they've also spoken about the Gauteng Township Fund. We want to see that fund. We want to ensure that there's a credit amnesty so that our people can qualify. We are tired of this foreign direct investment institution like the IDC, NEF behaving like banks towards our entrepreneurs, because they are there, but not a lot of our entrepreneurs can access that money and develop their businesses sustainably. So we also take responsibility and say there are instances whereby government has funded our entrepreneurs and money was misappropriated. We acknowledge that. It's important that we put that up front, and we are putting mitigating aspects in place to ensure that as BEA, we partner with government in that respect and ensure that money that's used to develop black entrepreneurs, even through the Preferential Procurement Framework Act, which we know that other political quotas are saying that, no, we should scrape BEE. It's not yet time. White people have had over 400 years to be set up for success. So we are saying as black entrepreneurs, we also need an opportunity to be set up for success, and we are asking for a reset button to be pressed to the economy.
One of the interesting elements that you've also noted here is fighting what is known as extortion. And in the last couple of weeks, we've seen disturbing incidents that are aimed at attacking businesses in the likes of the Eastern Cape, even more prevalent in Tata. How do you respond to that in terms of policing, as well as how vital this fight against extortion should be tackled?
Yeah, you see, those are naughty adults that need to be put in a naughty corner, and I'll tell you why I'm saying that. Extortion is a crime. And it's important that you engage commercially and show value adds to say, if you're saying, I'll make an example again through the Gauteng Township Economic Development Act. It's very clear. It says governments must set aside 40% or procure 40% to townships. So we need to regularize what we are doing. One, people that are doing extortion should stop and they should be arrested. Secondly, they should start forming business forums that are registered. You can also register with the CIPC, a non-profit company, so that you organize yourself properly. Once you are organized, you then present yourself to whatever government or even corporate companies and say, this is who we are, this is what we represent, this is our members, these are our requests, and these are our value adds. In business, there's no take, there's give and take. If you want to come into business, what is it that you are bringing? I mean, people in corporate, there's something called skin in the game. This thing of having an entitlement mentality, that concept is over. Of entitlement. It's that if you want to come into a transaction, what value adds are you bringing so that you know that you get your 40%, but you've adequately participated in the transaction, you've added value, and you do ensure that there's no fronting, and you can clearly get your dividends, service your debts, and manage a sustainable business. So with regards to extortion, it needs to stop. We need a courageous government, because at the moment it's a free-for-all, and it needs to come to an end. Because if we don't stop extortion, those people are coming for us as leaders of business.
Very strong views there. And finally, I'd like to find out the call to action that you have made to the Government of National Unity. How fast are you expecting a response? Because most of what you've said is not necessarily new.
Well, we like a vocal minister like Gayton McKenzie because he's streetwise. And a person who's streetwise understands the being agile, being able to turn around quickly. So, and the fact that he has been in business. So we hope and pray as we religiously and voraciously engage the government, because as business, it's also up to us. One of the mechanisms as the Black Entrepreneurs Alliance we are using the legislature to hold the executive accountable through the portfolio committees and the speakers. And I've seen even the municipality speaker was also here earlier on, to ensure that through the local economic development of the city of Joburg, we go to the speaker and say, listen, your MMC and your mayor, and through the Gauteng Township Economic Development Act, this is what's expected. And since you've not come up with plans, this has not been done. You've not even called corporate companies like in the shopping malls in Soweto, your Woolworths, your Pick and Pay, and so on, and say 40% of their procurement, the Juzi, Mabese, Maroto, Magwenya, must be procured from Batbakokasi. And that's not a negotiation, it's not a meeting, it's legal, and it needs to be implemented and advanced. And lastly, what's important, Black people don't need money. they need access to market, because when you have a market, you can sustain the loan that you take from the bank. It's useless, and we warn entrepreneurs against running to say, hey, we want money, we want money. We can give somebody money, but if you don't have a clientele and a market to service, how are you going to pay back that money?
Clear and precise, a call to action by entrepreneurs. That's the CEO of the BEA, Refilwe Monageng, talking to us in marking World Entrepreneurs Day.